In an attempt to legally disperse funds to people, I believe that the government is aware of this manipulation of mindset with the media, with the ads on TV, all of that. But not only the government, but the rich and elite, the gangs. So we have here the government's persuasion, the gang's persuasion, and the rich persuasion. However, they are all interconnected. This has multiple meanings. This has multiple meanings. What if the truck driver from my other video wasn't killed? What if he went to prison and was told he could leave under surveillance to work for a multi-million-dollar corporation, except the total profits of the company had a percent off of the top, invested into going into banks to keep inflation low? Or the gang outlook. In the original story of the 10K turning to 10 million worth of damage, kind of a terrorist outlook, and a family dies, transferring money from people's taxes and from another place for more supplies, destroying competition indefinitely, but also hurting the economy. Also, when the economy is hurt like this in places like I was talking about Tennessee, not only did they have to buy supplies from that CEO or that rich person, but also because of disaster scenarios and tax releases, it's also taking the people's money as well from that state, if you understand. So this same science can be used for drug drop-offs, for sex, for drugs, to persuade. And then there's just the rich, the really rich outlook, who just want to be part of something for sport, who use the ads and persuasion to entice people in broad daylight through human trafficking just to place bets on who kills who has sex with who can get drugs for free. It's sport. They're making bets off of people. They're playing God with people. It's the government's persuasion triangle. This is what the banks go up to, right? You can go to prison or they can offer you protection. They create startup campaigns, such as like anything really, but mostly you're going to think about political viewpoints, the presidential campaign, stuff like that. Or it could just be traditional thinking, such as a man and a wife to create a child, because they like scientifically on that outlook, they don't view us as individuals, they view us as money. So they might just be trying to keep those traditional ideas alive and such, so that the banks have more money. Well, the gangs sell drugs, the governments sell drugs. The gangs need to get drugs off of the street, and people keep dying. Well, I don't believe that all people are bad or wrong. So what if the government is buying drugs from the gangs in order to reinvest these drugs into the stock market? Or not the stock market, the hospitals. Essentially the stock market. But the gangs are using this manipulation of media and such in order to be able to make people think they're crazy on the mass, to where they're going to go buy medications, or people are getting hurt and needing pain medications or whatever, because they still need to push their product indefinitely. Well, the gangs, they could offer you addiction or they could offer you power. They also generate cancel culture in retaliation to startup campaigns, because there's money in opposition. Drugs, banks, stocks, rings. The rich can offer immunity and wealth. They can offer business owners. However, because they already are elite and rich and are the CEOs of these major companies and such, is it plausible that just because they're rich and they want to be involved with something, that these rings that are associated with drugs, it's still persuasion? so they can persuade you to run for president if you wanted. They could persuade vulnerable people into going insane and wrecking a vehicle. They can persuade people into doing drugs and not thinking correctly. Everything in the world is persuasion. These rings could be sex rings, they could be drug rings, they could be money rings, etc. Opposition creates money. However, it's a dichotomy. The more the world is connected on a singular concept, the more people who can be controlled at one time. If we have one currency, one media, or one language, the more it can be exploited and manipulated. What if the gangs are using this formula in order to create prisoners, because prisoners could possibly be released into these communistic places to where they're taking a percent off of the top, and that percent off the top's going back into the banks to keep inflation down. However, the banks put our money into stocks in order to generate more money. So what if all of that is happening, right? It is happening. So what I see is a gang that creates prisoners so that the government can fix prisoners, so that they can put money into the banks, so that the gangs who are manipulating the stock market can have more money being put into their stocks, so that they can have more money, so that the guy that's the CEO of that company has monopoly.